Hi everyone, Johann here, founding manager for Yobees, and we're here today on a research site where we've planted out selectively bred Manuka cultivars. We have Maggie here today talking about their research and their development of these cultivars. Hi Maggie, great to have you here. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Maggie Olsen. I'm a native forestry consultant that works with Manuka Farming New Zealand. And my background is in terrestrial ecology, specializing in New Zealand scrub, which is essentially Manuka. My role at Manuka Farming New Zealand is to advise landowners and beekeepers who wish to establish Manuka on their property, and also advise on other species that would help support plantation functioning, such as providing additional bee forage to the bees while they're not foraging on the Manuka.
So if I was a landowner and I wanted to plant Manuka cultivars for either to run my own beehives on, and I wanted the best Manuka cultivars to plant across to produce pure honey, you guys would be the best ones to go to.
Yes, so Manuka Farming New Zealand supplies these selectively bred Manuka honey producing cultivars to independent landowners and beekeepers. So if you're an independent landowner or beekeeper who's interested in establishing Manuka, come talk to us at Manuka Farming New Zealand.
Awesome, and I've definitely seen the benefits from that. My beehives are all across this land, and some of the land that we own, we've got those cultivars, and our hives are producing very highly active and pure Manuka honey.
So MPI partnered with private industry for the High Performance Manuka Primary Growth Partnership Program.
Oh, right. Okay, yeah, because I was there at the start giving data from the beehives with the honey that we got to better know these cultivars over the years. How many years has this been going for?
So the High Performance PGP program was a 7-year-long program that partnered New Zealand government along with private industry, and the research itself was done by Massey University located in Palmerston North. But yeah, it was a 7-year-long program that examined a selection of the cultivars for how they performed in a Manuka plantation. At the start of the research project, the Manuka honey was essentially all collected from wild populations of Manuka. So this was exploring the ideas around, could Manuka be used in a plantation setting to produce higher quality Manuka honey? So
the government sort of helped fund the program because they saw a lot of innovation and potential in the research.
Yeah, so originally the idea came from some of the big honey producers across New Zealand and some smaller partners as well who are really interested in getting that highly active Manuka honey. They looked for this partnership with government to create some really good data behind the breeding program and just how Manuka does in a plantation setting.
So when you produce the seedlings or the seeds and plantations across the land, what sort of things do you look for to increase the activity of Manuka and the survival of the plant?
So, we started with wild populations and examined these for individuals that had higher flowering density, higher flowering quality, increased growth rates, and increased nectar qualities. They acted as seed parents for the future generations. Thus, the selective breeding created these cultivar lines, based off wild populations, but of course with improved things like nectar quality, which directly leads to higher active Manuka honey. The best of the next generation is then bred together and repeat until several generations down the line you have the cultivars that are right here.
I have noticed, because I've done beekeeping for over 10 years now, and all of my plantation sites that I'm on that came from Manuka Farming NZ, they do tend to sprout a lot more flowers, per branch or, in ratio compared to the wildflowers. So I really do see that selective breeding process coming through, as well as the honey that we get off our hives and that we sell and export overseas. We have considerably higher activity and purity in all aspects.
Yeah, making sure that there's kind of best practices so that there is best opportunity to produce really good honey.
So how do you test, can you explain a little bit about how you actually test the nectar from the flower, how you do that, and what you're looking for?
Sure. The nectar can be collected, of course, when the Manuka is flowering, so mostly in the summertime. And what we do is we kind of, with very small amounts of liquid, wash the nectar off of the flower and collect that nectar from several, or about 20 flowers across the tree, and create a sample that is kind of representative of that tree. We can look at the different chemical levels that give Manuka nectar its kind of unique Manuka factor, and evaluate sugars and that type of thing, which of course draws bees to the flowers. And that kind of directly translates into the quality of honey that will be produced off the plant.
Wow, that's amazing that that you guys can accomplish that. I think you're doing an amazing job for Manuka Farming NZ. Yeah, because we're really seeing that throughout our bees and our honey. So good job on that.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, the bees themselves are the best testers. They will go and sample from many more flowers than we would be able to test. So of course, kind of the proof is in the honey in terms of what the nectar quality shows.
On your website, I noticed that you say, correct me if I get it wrong, but you notice higher UMF honey is produced in general in your research plots. Would you say that these Manuka cultivars have increased UMF that give better results to the end consumers?
Yes. So the cultivars themselves, of course, are bred for higher quality nectar and all of those things that are able to create the higher quality honey. So Manuka honey itself has a higher antibacterial activity when compared to other types of honeys. And so again, these cultivars step that up beyond what is expected in the wild populations. So if a higher UMF factor is what you're after, or that higher antibacterial activity is what you're after, then yes.
Awesome. So if you don't have those cultivars, the honey is disadvantaged to what it could be if we had selectively bred Manuka cultivars.
Of course, Manuka honey has been produced from wild populations, and it still is. Certainly it can be a bit more risky in terms of the quality of the product. Kind of take from the wild population, you just kind of turn the dial up a little bit. You're turning up those attributes that really impact on honey product or honey quality output.
Is there anything else you'd like to mention about MFNZ or that we might have not covered today?
So yes, I would like to say that Manuka is a New Zealand species indigenous to the island. Manuka is the name itself is terrestrial. It's a beautiful Kiwi product that the New Zealand industry is super proud to produce. And our MPI and the government has provided strong regulation around the testing of Manuka honey that is exported to provide assurance to the international community that Manuka honey that is exported from New Zealand is of New Zealand origin and is of Manuka origin.
Yeah, and I do believe that when exporting, New Zealand Manuka honey is the only honey that has the most amount of testing in the world compared to any other honey. And the MPI regulations have also made it more difficult to water down Manuka honey or add things to it or change it, which is what Yobees Honey is really against. Hey Maggie, thank you so much for coming along all the way out here to the middle of nowhere on a dangerous road for an interview and to siphon all of that valuable information out of you. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, thanks Johann. Pleasure to be here.